Welcome back, dear viewers. I'm Levi Lalonde with Alliteration Gaming, and I've got Mr. Tamron Cardwell with me. I think that was the best way to say that. I got
For
myself
sure.
too deep into that, and I just had to finish it out. But for this exciting round 8, wow, man, it's been 8 rounds, Tamron. Does it feel
Yeah.
like 8 rounds?
No, it's been a blast. It's been flying by.
Oh yeah, couldn't agree more. Speaking of flying by, we're probably gonna have a pretty quick one here. We've got a really cool rematch essentially of our last nationals finals. We're looking at Jiro versus Tokoyami.
Yeah, we've got Jacob Johnson playing Tim Keefe's Jiro. Basically, he changed 4 cards. And then we've got Brent Kosher, I believe, on Chaos Tokoyami. And I don't know what he changed because I haven't talked to him about his deck. But yeah, we're gonna see can Jacob change the history books on this matchup. The good news is he does get to change it just enough to go first. So hit a solid build 4 as Jiro, and it passes right on over to Tokoyami.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can change history, right, it's Jacob Johnson. This man's got regional win after regional top after top after top after top. So much crazy accolades under his belt. It's almost hard to keep track of at this point. And he's looking to continue to make a name for himself, even after securing so much in the past. We simply won't be satiated. And I mean, yeah, very scary build. very
That was
scary
almost
build.
triple some stronger darkness. I would have let it rock. I'm greedy. I would have for sure played that last one. We
Yeah.
saw that there's a pillar swing on top of Jacob's deck, and so he's just gonna windmill slam that guy. Give it the stats. Oh, even better. This is gonna be on a 7.
Yep, this is going to be big and scary. I think that might be the primary decision factor in why we didn't commit Tokoyami to build that last stronger. Probably since we don't have a mid block in our hand, and we know that pillar swing is coming.
Yeah, but the stun too, having an extra resource available to us, might have been really nice.
Yeah, it's possible that we don't even get to block this pillar swing. I mean, it's going to be fast. This is what, a 7-speed move. We're not allowed to check bad.
Correct.
After that stun 2 comes in, we are not allowed to check bad. This is a real big swing. Man, I gotta say, I really love the adoption of pillar swing into a lot of these air Jiro lists. That move is just so cool and so massive, and it's just such a fun one to sling. We don't even have the confirmed Dark Shadow. Yeah, without the confirmed Dark Shadow, I'm definitely committing my character to build that last stronger. Oh yeah,
I mean,
100%.
this is a 10 damage move with our character committed. It would have been 9. If we sling a second pillar swing, the game's over.
Yeah, the game is actually the game is actually over if we sling a second pillar swing.
Rough. Rough breaks.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what kind of block we can posture here as Brent. But man, it's already looking very scary.
We have to have a 1 block, right? Because it's on a 7. 7, 8, 9. There aren't any 6s under. Or I guess there are. There's 1 6 under chaos.
We can have league interviews in our deck. Okay, there's the Jiro coming in. Now we can't even block it, right?
Because that's a 3's going right on top, huh?
Yeah. It's that 3 on top says I now know that this pillar swing is just unblockable. We're gonna just get the 3 off. Oh, we're playing the summon Dark Shadow. Okay, this is huge. The context has completely changed. The texture of this move now very blockable. The 3 is off the top of our deck. We have the ruin for the breaker 1 block too. Oh, this is massive.
This feels pretty good. Losing ruin here is rough. I 100% don't like losing the ruin, but I probably like saving 10 health more.
Yeah, I like not being at half my life total for practically free. We get to put this breaker onto JJ as well now, essentially negating for at least 1 move the pillar swing disappearing into the momentum. But I think the big thing now is that we've got the momentum. If we can change some specialized sound waves here, oh my goodness, things are going to get out of hand very fast.
Yeah, we've got that. We also have the requesting assistance. We've stolen a momentum in the middle of our
We
turn. We
do.
did we checked
Oh, this feels pretty unblockable.
that's very spooky.
This feels
Um
pretty big and scary.
it now feels very good we didn't build that extra foundation, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe we're not so we're not so much regretting our life choices anymore.
Yeah, let's flip and re-ready a foundation. Probably going to be
Mhm.
that release. That makes the most sense to
Yep,
me. In
absolutely.
case this turn doesn't turn out the way that we want it to. Um, yeah, I got +4 damage and 1 from Jiro. I mean, it's a 9 damage move. We're just going to take it. We're going to drop down to 11.
Yeah, this is oh man, this is so scary. This is so scary. There's so many lines of play here where we find lethality as JJ, but we don't have any of it. We instead simply have a couple nice foundations to put on our board and be very content with our big health lead that we've now got over Brent.
This is not a terrible position for Tokoyami to be in, though. I mean,
No.
we've got double summon, stronger darkness. We've got a summon dark shadow in our discard pile. We draw hot, and we could just get there, but that release is going to do a lot of heavy lifting, um, in keeping us alive as Jiro. But you know, sometimes it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean Tokoyami can make the magic happen on four foundations. It's not impossible. Now when we discard every awesome attack off the top of our deck, maybe so. But for now though, I mean we just got this Crone Frog going on. We said it time and time again. The way you react to the Crow and Frog can really dictate the rest of the turn for Tokoyami, and it's always hard to know how to react to the Crow and Frog.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a huge fan of not playing Growing Frogs early, or not. Excuse me, not playing Summon Dark Shadows early. I always want to save them for later, even if I'm just slinging a 5 damage, Crow and Frog. I am much more likely to swing that than anything else. Um, we this is a tough choice.
This is a really tough position to be at.
This
Oh,
is a tough choice because we saw 4 range cards instantly go into the discard pile, right?
yep.
If we put the attack on top, the first thing I do is I just pop self assured. I pop
I
self assured
agree.
and I draw a card.
I
I would
agree. I
love to. Hey,
agree.
thank you for the ruin.
Oh,
I
thank
greatly
you. It's
appreciate that.
much appreciated. Now, is Brent gonna see that line?
Yeah, that is the question, huh?
Because man, if he sees that line, then we for sure check. We for sure check well as well. We get to remove our dark shadow. We get so much mileage out of that ruin if we draw it.
Yeah.
Um,
Guarantee we
at the
pass
same
the
time,
check.
though, yeah, it's a tough
And
spot to be in though as JJ, right? Because that if we do it the other way around, it just says we get to confirm that you have a good check on top if you play another move, and then you get to draw the ruin on that move too.
right. I
But
mean, we
then
might
your
even have
check.
8 in our discard pile. Uh,
Oh,
imagine drawing the
mm,
imagine having 8 in this pile and drawing both of those cards. I mean, it's just game over
oh,
then, right?
yeah. Yeah, so let's be committed to change the zone, re-readied it with the Crow and Frog. Now, are we going to see the other text come in though? We simply will not. Changing it to a low is interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, the freezer burn coming in here. I mean, I guess that makes a little more sense why we changed it.
Yeah, it forces the low block out. I mean, he might just have a bunch of lows in hand, but at the same time, you know, I still want my ruin, you know? Like ruins the good one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's possible we just haven't. We just didn't identify that line of play as Brent here. Um, but also maybe we just got all the moves in our hand already. Maybe we just need that foundation more than we need that ruin. As crazy as that might sound,
That is very plausible.
we gotta just see what the rest of this turn looks like. Without the ruin, though, it feels hard to play any more attacks after that.
Yeah.
with the Dark Shadow and progressive difficulty, and it does look like we're just slowing down now. Um, I think
Makes sense.
I think if we were going to only play one more move after this, I would have opted to use the Crow and Frog to ready Tokoyami instead, so that I could defensively grab a Dark Shadow
I
once more.
completely agree.
That was a play that I saw Barrett do a lot across his games throughout Dallas Nationals, and there's probably a thing or two that all Tokoyami players could learn from him, given that he brought it all the way to the first place finish. Yeah, I saw him utilize that play a lot, and I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is exceptionally good. Um,
Yeah, so still though, not a terrible turn as far as just accelerating his stage. Definitely didn't get as much damage in as Jacob Johnson did, and he's not in a bad position this turn either to put a lot more damage on board. The flash move is going to be really really nice to come in here, stopping any -1 damage shenanigans. As well as just accelerating. Like if we get the low block out right now, we get the low block out right now. Right. It just makes our
Yeah.
1.3s even more threatening.
this is half of Brent's life. Um, find the low block though, but it's on a 7. We need to check well on this. Oh,
Yep.
another ruin.
Yeah,
3,
that is
4,
not
5,
that is just not the check we
6,
wanted to see here.
and 7. Looks good
in the
there.
slightest. We'll say though, we have some cool defensive tech here, right? We have the self-assured, and then we have the requesting to ready the self-assured as well, for multiple zone changes if need be that might protect us from something like a 1.3. At the same time though, man, like yeah, with that tech as well on board, I would have totally readied my character to find a Dark Shadow defensively. If I go find my sweet, very very decent mid block with the ability to change anything to a mid, would have given Brent here a little more defensive control over this game state, rather than JJ, who just has all the gas right now, everything in the wheel. That check was huge too, because now we have our 6 check to stack on top. It gives us a little more leeway to put these big 4 diffs on top and perfect check them.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. It looks like this is going to be incredibly lethal here. We've got a home run comet coming in, and there's nothing we can do about this block. We have to just soak this one on the chin.
Yep,
It's
yep.
4 high for 5. We'll go down to
To 6 health here. Wow,
6.
this is very frightening. And now here's the home run. Yeah, I mean, just the double flash attack was really potent. We don't get to interact with those moves at all. Those are 2 moves. That we would have loved to manipulate to our favor some way, especially the sound wave, since we took it on the chin. Would have been super cool to give that move -1 damage. But flash attacks, that is the power of flash attacks.
Yeah, I think I actually would have grabbed the pillar swing here, because I actually think stun 2 is going to be would have been really really detrimental to everything Tokoyami's got going on, right?
Yeah, I think the pillar swing is actually just like guaranteed game. It would be +2/+2, and he'd have no ready foundations.
Yeah, no ready foundations. You'd only have +1 to your check with the midnight card. I believe it's all worked
All
up.
worked up, yeah. To destroy a +1 to your check. It would have been big. It would have been big. It would have been a lot bigger than this. I mean, I guess it would have been a very similar speed, right? They both start at 3, so yeah. It would also it would challenge his block zone for sure, though.
All right, we got a triple header. He flashed him 2 more home runs.
Ooh.
Oh, wowzers!
Wow, what a guy that Jacob Johnson is, huh?
Oh, wowzers! Hey,
Yep,
he
and
said,
I
"Hey,
mean,
catch this one." There it is. All right, go into game 2.
yep,
Wow, that was
yep,
awesome.
yeah, very, very, very cut and dry victory for Jacob Johnson there. Jiro doing Jiro things extremely quickly, and
Buddy, you
just
are
not able to
that
find his
home run
ground.
comment was so fast and so hard it ruined your internet. You were 100% a robot.
Oh no.
I think that game could have been Tokoyami's if we opted to take the line of the draw the 2 cards. Um, it is the world's biggest maybe, but I think what actually matters there is I think you get the attacks out of Jacob's hand, right? The likelihood that he just like ripped into all of those and didn't sculpt anything is so incredibly low. I think forcing him to block with some of those home run comments might have been what made or break what was going on, you know. So looks like we're getting a little bit of siding. Looks like hey, winning the die roll as Jiro is pretty good. We should see what happens. I did see a Toru in Jacob's sideboard. I wonder if we're going to see that come into play at all, maybe in like a game 3 scenario. My personal opinion is no. I think just being able to nuke Tokoyami as Jiro is really really cool, and good. I think it is a good thing to do. We saw just how detrimental the stats were, the unadulterated stats to fight Tokoyami, and so we'll see if Jiro can stave off and produce enough defense, because it's obvious we can produce the offense.
Yeah, the ability to out Tokoyami there is of course very good. At the same time, though, going into a game 3 scenario, right, where you know the Tokoyami gets to go first, if we do get there, right, I think the Jiro side could. There's an argument to be made for it, right? Knowing that you're going to have to play on the defensive side of things, and also just being able to put back Tokoyami's attacks is just such a strong interaction. Being able to negate things like the +3 check on Summon Dark Shadow essentially is really just too good to pass up if you know that you're not going to be on the play, right?
Yeah, with that said, though, I mean, there wasn't a good opportunity that last game to Toru, right? You Crow and Frog, you summon Dark Shadow, you play a 4 diff, so it's on a 5. I check a 3. Sure, I'll put it back in your hand. Look at the top. Even if it's a 3, they check a 5, commit 2 resources. What did that actually get me? The answer is not very much, especially because, like, the Freezer Burn gets to a ready 1. I didn't care that I committed Tokoyami. I actually think that Toru is not as good against Tokoyami as people think. I think that Toru is really good against the Tokoyami that's drawn the nuts, but Tokoyami still drew the nuts. So like, what happens, you know?
I mean, stuff right. It's very very contextual. You know, if Tokoyami's going in on you on those 4 foundations, forcing him to commit 2 by putting that bad check there, like it can make the world of difference. When you're dealing with like such hardcore aggro so early on, you know, it's the same thing as when you're trying to like backswing Tokoyami before he can come back and finish you off himself. Every little bit matters in those like super duper cutthroat aggro scenarios. Every -1 damage matters. Every ready foundation matters, because most of the time you're going to be playing your turns to the fullest extent of your resources. And being able to nab a big chunk of those resources from Tokoyami can really slow down his aggression early on. You know, if he's like twisting Azure into twisting Azure and going crazy nonetheless, you're not going to put nearly as big of a damper on him. But when he's not in the most optimal scenario already, you can take a lot of advantage of that.
Sure.
Ultimately, though, you know, it's something that we just have to see be put into practice, right? You know, it's not a thing that we've seen a ton of. It's not a thing that I've personally seen a ton of. It obviously just sounds very, very, very strong in theory, but ultimately we have to see how it plays out on the cardboard itself.
Yeah, for sure. We hit a solid build 5 with Tokoyami, and Jiro now has to be very careful because I mean, we have more foundations now than we did, I think, the entire last game. But answers right back with the build 5 and says, yo, 27, you got to find it. You got to find it.
Yeah, you gotta work a little. You gotta work a little bit of it for sure. We've got the specialist of sound. We get to make one move very slow. We have a destined for mainstream success, which in our character Kyoka Jiro actually just says we have an extra card in hand. So we've got actually a range of 3 cards in hand, with the 3rd card being one of either 2 on top of our deck. So we have options here. You know, we have things going for us for sure.
Absolutely.
There's a public enemy number 1 though.
Opts not to respond says that we don't care about the speed of this move. Yeah, I think blocking the
Yep, this
ruin
one's
that's
not
gonna
worth it.
get hit a little harder. Losing once again 4 attacks on our flip is massive. Um,
Yeah, it's very
yeah.
big. It's very, very big. But I mean, we got our Summon Dark Shadow, right? That is the important part. And now the
I love
ops to
that.
put the foundation on top. Yeah, makes sense. Tells him you have to play the Summon Dark Shadow now, right? You gotta play the Summon Dark Shadow, and then
Right.
you're only gonna check a 6 on the next one. You know, it's kind of just the best case scenario for JJ really. Dark Shadow kind of lets you play around with your stacks being put back on top, especially when you have all of the knowledge to it as well, because you
True,
are
true,
on
true, true. Yeah,
webcam.
Jiro got a little bit of a nerf, but when your character says you give plus X stats wise, I don't really care about the look. The look is cool, but Jiro just amplifies her moves so well.
Yeah, it is very inconsequential. I don't think it puts Jiro down in her power level at all. It's just kind of something that you have to think a little bit more about if you're willing to give your opponent that information or not.
I mean, he's commit 3, yeah.
Yeah. So not bad. I mean, we have the full block. It's the important part. We have the specialist of sound, so like blocking a second attack is not impossible. Ruin though might not be the one that we get to block. So on a 7, we check a 6. No, we check a 7 because it's Twisting Azure. Yep. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. The evil versus the good. This is spicy. The evil versus good is pretty huge here.
Yeah,
That makes
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that just makes it say like, hey, even if with the specialist of sound you do get to block this ruin, the next one's just gonna be even scarier.
Correct. Yeah, responding and canceling the -3 speed is massive here.
Yeah. This is really, really, really big. It's gonna be darn near impossible to block this ruin now, I think.
Yeah, especially because you get the plus to the speed with training with Gunhead, right? Because every single check is going to be increased by 1 due to not only Summon Dark Shadow but also Inferno.
Yeah, that's really, really, really powerful tactic there. That was one card that I was really surprised to see omitted from a lot of the top Tokoyami lists at our previous national event. I think training with Gunhead is very strong in this deck. We have the second Summon Dark Shadow. This might be a dead JJ.
There we go. Yeah, looks
This is a lot of blue.
good.
This is a whole lot of blue.
Yeah. The question is, do we have the orange to pair with it, right? 1, 2,
Correct.
3, 4, 5 cards deep. That means we've got 4 more cards left in our hand, or three more cards left in our hand.
We have a 1.3. I'm sneaking a peek. I'm
seeing an
sneaking
indiscriminate
sneaking
and
a
a
little
lot
a
of
little
committed
peek.
cards.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be what 5 speed at base because of our 2 Summon Dark Shadows, which is pretty unblockable. Now that JJ is fully committed out, we've only got to find what is it 15? What does this 1.3 get to? It gets to 5,
Gets to
6,
14.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It does get to 14. So do we have the follow-up one is the question. Do we have that final move to deal that one last damage? No way.
I think I saw a jolt, possibly.
The ultimate
would
one last damage?
Feel pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it would be at base level unblockable, but man, it feels super cool to say no matter what you can do. There's no tricks up your sleeve.
No longer.
Yeah, so this is gonna be super duper big. At this point, Brent is just pressing buttons, trying to count his way there.
Almost like a quick time event, right? Like,
Mhm.
like there's just a story happening, unfolding in front of us.
Yep. Yeah, it's on a 7, and we check a 4, right? Because of
Said you got
Twisted
one
Azure
more?
Inferno. There's the Crow and Frog.
That's not when you're supposed to play that card, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Yep. That is generally not how all of that plays out. But
Yeah.
all's well that ends well. I mean, given where we were in our string, it kind of didn't matter what order we played our moves in at that point.
Very
It was
true.
it was a pretty guaranteed game scenario. Not many outs, if any, that JJ could have had there, save like a double front beatdown in the hand.
You're right. Siding double front beatdown does have the infinity symbol, so any
the
character can play it.
Hey, look, the ultimate secret stat reset. Okay, the anti
Yeah.
Tokoyami meta. So now, are we going to see that Jiro side come in?
Yeah, we'll
I have to
we'll
imagine that whether or not they started in the main or came in, we're taking ready set goes out of our deck now potentially. Now that we know that we're going first,
sure.
easily one of the coolest things about the air symbol is being able to side in and out of these of these either going first or second scenarios based on what you know going into the game. JJ's going to be on the play though, so I don't think we're going to see any kind of a Toru sideboard here. We're just going to see him play pure aggression and try to wrap things up as fast as he did in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta kill him, right?
Yeah.
you
Yep.
just gotta do the darn thing.
Yeah, I mean, as we showed off in game one, we are super duper capable of doing that, given a solid build and the right moves in our opening hand. It's
True.
a lot of 1.3s getting thrown this round. Just goes to show that whether you're air, chaos, or heck, even the order symbol, 1.3 is still one of the best kill conditions in any of those symbols' arsenals.
Yeah.
Card really stands the test of time, huh?
I mean, it's one of those cards. I'm playing an air deck right now, in my Ida 3 deck, and I'm not playing that card, and I for sure miss it. I know that I'm missing it, but there's just no room in my list for it.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
we're 3 sets in, and card quality just continues to maintain such a consistent and stable level throughout all these set releases. It becomes harder and harder to find out what the good ones to put inside our decks are.
Let's just play 100-card decks now, right? We get all the gentleman agreement, shake
I'm
hands,
into it.
100 cards.
Yeah, I'm into it, man. Are you gonna pay someone to shuffle my deck for me, Timron?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Awesome, cool, thank you. I appreciate that.
Every round. There was
Every round?
so Shane Duckworth, is a designer, used to be the head judge of the game back in Universes, and there was a time Shane loves shuffling. If you guys have never seen Shane, he actually has a shuffling tutorial over on his YouTube channel. Shaneth21, I think. Shaneth12,
Correct.
maybe.
21 is correct.
Yeah, Shaneth21. And he was like sponsored by Dragon Shield to like show a bunch of different ways to shuffle your deck. But anyways, he would, if you called him, like the first person every round who would call him, you would have the judge shuffle your deck. There's this guy named Scott Sundman who every single time shuffled made Shane shuffle his deck. It's very, very funny. But enough about that. We did pass the triple summon, Stronger in Darkness this time.
Yeah, this is
Every
very
move is getting
scary.
+4 damage as soon as my character's committed. That is insane.
This is super scary. We are at very, very frightening levels of potency on Tokoyami's board here, man. And oh my god, these two checks coming in really, really, really hard. Did not hurt us on our opening build turn, but man, they're starting to catch up to us now on this first attack. This feels like it says straight away that we do not get to finish the game this turn.
Yeah, that is pretty rough, and it's just gonna give Tokoyami a chance to swing back, right? We saw Tokoyami win that last game without committing any resources, and having a lot of quote unquote blank cards on board. This board is way more aggressive. If we whiff here and we don't have a very good swing to make something happen, it's gonna be possibly curtains.
Yeah. Where I mean, as we said, JJ, he's just got to kill him, but starting off with just a measly jolt and checking a 2 is not the beginning of the just gotta kill him path. I think we're gonna
Very
have to
true.
hard pivot here and try to stabilize as much as we can. But now we're stabilizing off the bat with 2 foundations committed. It's just not a good place to be right now. If as
Yeah.
JJ, we said we don't care. We don't care. We got 5s on top. It's time to play some jolts. I mean, this is the other best case scenario, right? I mean, if we can't put together a very good stage, if we're gonna go into his turn already committed out, we might as well just play these jolts and commit his own foundations once he
Right,
starts
right.
swinging at us.
Yeah, this is damage melting off of all of his moves. You just commit the double 2 of these stronger darkness and force him to have Crone Frogs to ready them right back up.
Absolutely. So kind of turning the situation around, putting a little bit more pressure on Brent here, and then putting together a couple nice foundations of our own. If we pass this, it's super premium. Oh, that's beautiful.
Nice.
This says
nice.
this says we get to block one thing now. I think, as long as evil versus good doesn't come in and ruin our day again.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Yep, fixing our discard pile up there doesn't really matter. We're going to grab that summon Dark Shadow ASAP. All right, and now I mean this is the turn right here for Brent to show off if he's got it or not.
We
Doing
all wait
some
with
thinking.
bated breath
Oh,
to see
yeah,
if Tokoyami
yeah.
can count to 27.
27's a pretty big number, but ooh, Heat Wave as a start is very interesting.
Ooh.
Not the check though.
Wowzers.
Yeah, that's not the check we want to see. Those jolts are gonna come in really, really, really clutch right now.
Yeah, we're gonna get actually +0 damage on every single one of our moves.
Yep. Well, we're gonna get +1 damage with Tokoyami.
I guess we do give it Tokoyami, huh?
Yeah, with Tokoyami. Really cool to leave up the encouraging training partner here. That pretty much says that, hey, you're -3 speed. My first enhance is going to be put it back to 4 to kind of negate the effects of that. But now that made us commit a Stronger in Darkness, meaning we're going to get no Stronger in Darknesses for the entirety of this turn, unless we can jam a Crow and Frog. But I definitely don't think that we have a Crow and Frog. We would have opened with it. Well, we could draw it off of Heat Wave if we've got our 6 in there. All right, ripping the 3, he says. Okay,
Boom! Hey,
there's
Crow
right
Frog.
there. Hey, our Crown Frog.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
a big 4 damage though on our 4 speed move now is not bad.
Yeah.
Depending on what those top 2 are, there's a world where this goes unblocked. But as long as there's a high block somewhere in sight and not 2 3s on top of our deck, I believe we can posture some form of a block here.
Yeah, I did see an indiscriminate shock, I believe, but passing it's going to be nigh but impossible. We'll have to actually lube up every check and have Crow and Frog.
Yeah. So we're doing our Jiro now, looking at our top cards, seeing the what's what. Of course, we have the Summon Dark Shadow play to kind of work around it, if we so desire. JJ got a lot of thought going on over these top 2.
Yeah, the question is like if there's like attacks on top, we want to draw them up into our hand, but at the same time, if we can block this without doing it, with him having essentially no stage left, I mean, you play the summon, you commit the character, you have 1 card, you're exclusively trying to play on weaving these actions.
Yeah.
I think blocking with the attack and trying to rip 8 cards essentially on your turn might just be the better option.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And I mean, Brent's got a lot here to think about as well, right? Because like no matter what happens, if you don't win this turn, you are passing to Jiro with 4 committed foundations, and that's a really, really scary place to be.
Correct.
Going for the home run Comet block, only on the half. So I'm guessing that we did not have a high block in those top 2. Otherwise, we would have brought it to the top and drawn it off of a Destined for Mainstream success, which is pretty unfortunate. There's the Ruin on the 6. Oh my god.
Wow, I love that risk reward play. That was insane.
Yeah, that
was
so
actually
huge.
insane. Um,
That's so big.
wow. And then
That is
on a
so.
2,
Oh my
3,
goodness.
4, checks a 3, commits the 1 for 4.
Hmm.
Oh wow! I think that might have been a blunder from Jacob, having these be where they are. Opts to put the low block in his hand. He's only got the 1 card left.
Hmm.
Actions don't count. This is gonna be really. This is really sketch.
If we see like a second Dark Shadow or like a Twisting Azure come down, right? Things might get wild with it, right?
Okay. So we have a 3 low block in hand. We
Mhm.
have we have a 5 check on top. I think our goal here is to attempt to try and to block uh an indiscriminate shock,
Yep,
but it's going to
that
be
is
a
what
4,
we're worried
a
about.
7. We're going to commit 1, 5, 6, 7. It's not possible. We
Nope,
can't block anything anymore.
nope, it's not. We do not have block posture anymore. And if we can, I mean, this puts us down what to 13, and indiscriminate gets to 5,
5, 6,
6, 7,
7,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13. I'm counting
13 with the
13
Dark
with
Shadow.
Tokoyami.
Yeah, with Tokoyami and Dark Shadow, indiscriminate gets here, but it's gonna be on a 7, so we just can't check a 3.
Yeah.
Indiscriminate kills here, but we can't check a 3. Think they're just clarifying the damage totals, realizing that an indiscriminate here is lethal. If we are at 13, we want to make 100% sure that we're at 13. We just got to check that
5,
5.
6, 7. Here it is. We're ripping it off the top.
That's the
Checking
8 check right there.
Holy
Oh
cow.
my goodness. Yep.
It's the best deck in the room.
It's the best deck in the room, baby. And I think we're gonna double check all the math here, but I know that we've already
6,
calculated
7,
it
8, 9,
on
10, 11,
Brent's
12,
end.
13. This is exactly lethal. It's a 4
Exactly
low.
13.
He's got a 3 low in hand. It's on a 7, 8. 7, 8. It is not possible to check, even though we
Nope.
have the low block and
Nope.
the 5 comes in. The virtual handshake. There it is. He said, "I'm out of cards. I cannot push it." Wow. The best deck in the room.
Man, absolutely, absolutely
And I think
crazy.
Tokoyami was dead. I think
Yeah, yeah.
Tokoyami was dead.
Yep,
Yeah.
I think that if we passed into JJ with no foundations, absolutely perished. The sound waves,
Yeah.
man, the sound waves was just gonna dig us even more reach. Yeah, man,
Soundwave's
really.
Comet
Whew.
was definitely 12.
Yeah,
Insane. Well,
yep.
congratulations to Brent for taking it down. Yeah, incredibly happy um for him. Both these players played their heart out and took some high risk, high reward type of lines. And I think that game was almost exclusively lost off of the back of a 2 check.
Yeah, yeah, it really was just all coming down to the checks. I mean, when you have these really cutthroat hyper aggro v hyper aggro matchups, where the two are both just trying to find lethality so early on in the game on such limited resources, most of the time it's going to come down to just those checks, especially when you have two really good players behind the wheels activating all of their abilities so optimally, and so expertly, that's also another facet of the game where the the main deciding factors will just be those small bits of RNG that creep their way in through the massive skill sets of both players.
100%. 100%. Well, we have one more round, ladies and gentlemen. We have about 15 minutes left in the round proper. We might try and go and find ourselves another game if it doesn't disrupt anybody too much. But these last 2 rounds are getting really heated, and so I don't want the stream to go and interrupt somebody's mojo. So if we can find somebody, that's fine. If not, we will see you for round number 9. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back, or we won't, but we will. But we won't, but we will. Who knows? We will. We
You
might
give
not.
me a
We
headache,
will.
Tam. Get us out of here.